Probably a bit of both.
Okay.
She said that she could be found in the northwestern part of the city, over by the Lyceum. She'll be looking for you as well. But you were sleeping when she came by, so I took the note.
Are you kidding me? Okay. Next time we can be woken up if it's somebody like that.
I did not know the rules. I will do better next time. I'm sorry.
No apologies necessary. I was a little harsh right there.
You are not the worst person I've ever worked for. Thank you. Um, uh, I understand as what the stuff and things you wanted to tell me about last time were. It would appear that there are several people who have said that there's a blonde lady looking for you. She
Oh,
nobody seems to. It's strange. Nobody seems to really know much about her besides the fact that she's blonde. Um,
I
and
thought we had a name. Was it Julie or what was it? Sarah? Didn't we get a name?
I don't know. I did not get the name.
I'm
But
Who
looking at
who is this?
uh Nimvira, the one who that kind of guy on the street just was like, "Hey, somebody by the name of is was looking for or yeah, was looking for you or needed to be told when I found you or tell you when I found
Oh,
you."
right. It was. Fuck. Continue. I'll get back to you.
Okay, well, we know she's blonde now.
yes, well, I think
Okay.
you may have already known that. But what is also very weird is everybody that I've talked to that's had some sort of meeting or seen this woman doesn't know anything else about her. And everybody acts a little weird, like they forget things, or maybe they've got a headache.
Uh, she has some sort of memory wiping stuff. Be
Hmm.
careful.
I've also taken a note. I can wake you up. I have that written down.
Oh,
No
you're
one,
very good.
no one's
If
stealing
I
this
had
from
extra
me.
gold, I'd tip you.
Hey, maybe when you move on, you give me big tip at the end, or just
Yeah, or maybe you know what?
whatever.
You keep your ear peeled for some jobs too.
Well,
And
well, it's funny that you mentioned this. I have
if
more,
I make money, you make money.
and
You know what I mean?
he flips he flips the card over. He goes, oh no, wait, let me go back one card. He goes back. Other things Torrent said. She did meet with her what is it called, teacher something, and he wants to meet you, but she would like to do the introduction. So probably a good idea to find her. And also, if that goes well, she says she thinks he can make or barter a way for you to meet the Lyceum Council. So that's probably good because I thought that was things you wanted to do. So yes, another note. Um, and then lastly, and this is for Nim if she's woken up. Um, you had said that you are interested in more information about temples and other things that are around, and there I can't really tell you more than what you probably found when you went down to the South Shore, but um, there is somebody who's looking to, well, rumor says she's trying to bring all of the churches back together like they were before all these refugees showed up. He kind of goes, oh, sorry, travelers showed up. Not no offense to anyone, yourselves included. But her name is Laura Beck Adelsberg, and she she's kind of hard to miss. She's usually down there by the temples in the South Shore, and she rides a really big eagle. So that might be someone you want to talk to.
Hmm. Okay.
So that's pretty much all I've got at the moment. If you want to tell me other things to look into, I will, keep my eyes peeled and ears to the foot, as they say.
Tom, how do we spell this guy's name?
Figovich,
Yeah.
uh, Figovich.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
His first name is Judson, but he prefers to just go by Figovich.
Oh, okay. Figovich is his last name.
Yes.
Got it.
Just as a reminder, he is an average height human Regessian who has a brown goatee, an eccentric grin, and is slightly
Why are they
balding.
all starting over there? What the fuck?
Reminds me of my uncle.
Does your uncle sound like this as well?
No, not at all.
Ah, too bad.
That's a hard accent to place.
Right.
So you sound just like my uncle. Where's your
Yeah.
uncle from? I don't know, but he sounds just like
Yeah. No. Description wise, not actual auditorially wise.
Does your uncle provide as much information as Figovich does?
Not at all.
Not
This
at
guy's
all.
much
Twilight,
smarter.
darkness, anything sort of stuff.
But yeah, he's like, if there's more things for me to look
tightly
into,
fits
I
to
will
the
be
top
sure
of the box,
But
to the
I just
bottom.
need some direction.
And you feel
And
that
based
it's
So-
after our last conversation, this is
and
what
that
I
the
have.
constellations line up
Figovich,
with where you would be
I
able to see them
asked
if you stay,
you
like constellations that
3
you're aware
very
of.
specific questions yesterday. Any info on those?
Of this god sort of
One
thing.
was,
And
who is fomenting issues?
Gold per day
2,
per room.
who and where are inquisitors? And 3 was something about a kind family. That one got a little wishy-washy. So as far as fomenting things go, I've heard some stuff, but the fires seem to be being set somewhere in the sort of northeast, and no one's quite sure who's doing it. Everyone's pointing fingers, but even the rumor mill is running wild without any solidarity to the facts I'm hearing. Well, facts, thoughts. Some people say these people, some people say that people. I think it might even be some sort of other thing or whatever, but whatever it
I
is,
mean,
it's
possibly not people.
I don't know. I just all I can say is nobody knows as far as I know, which maybe means something good, something bad. I don't know.
Okay,
Um,
got it.
Where and who are the inquisitors? So that is a good question, and lots of people are thinking that the city has been infiltrated by Regessian spies or maybe actual inquisitors themselves. But as far as who, that's I will keep my ears peeled and my eyes to the ground. No, I messed that up. But I will do my best. If I find anything, I will let you know. But as
Okay,
of
so
right,
their location and identity is being tightly held secret.
or even if they're here, like we some of us think that it's probably likely that there may be elements here from Regessia trying to manipulate things, but we don't know who. There are people in town who ardently support Regessia or don't see Regessia as a threat, but then there are others who see a very different likelihood and outcome.
Okay.
But
Who
I
was-
will continue to be vigilant. And then lastly, the kind family. Were you just looking for nice people to go and be nice to, or like, I mean, I have a nice mom. I don't have dad no more, but I have a nice mom.
I was specifically looking for information in the refugee camps. If I okay, actually, I don't think this question was for Figovich. This question was for Tom.
Okay.
I'm keeping my eyes out for a refugee and family that I might have some compassion for or take a liking to. They might have a particularly large number of children that they're trying to, like what if my efforts were to do the most good, looking out for a family that I could do the most good for. Does that make sense? Or that I would want to help, that I would particularly have more compassion for.
I think that if you so choose to go have breakfast in the camp, you will very likely find exactly what you're looking for, or at
Beautiful.
least, or potentially several options there within.
Exactly.
So
Okay,
that
cool. I'll
if
do
you
that.
are in fact a monk predator looking to destroy families, then you'll find everything you want in this camp.
Awesome.
So,
Also, do you? I would love to maybe catch some wild game, like even if it's like rabbits or squirrels or something along those lines. A larger game, if it's easy to sort of come about, and bring that as contribution to the breakfast, or bring it to the food tent for them to use.
I think that, sorry for a sec. I think that that's something that if we have some downtime today, I would very willingly let you make some rolls to see if you could track something down in the sort of heavily forested areas outside of the camp. But where it is right now, and that would potentially take some time away from whatever everybody else is doing. Let's get a group consensus for what your activities for today are, and then we can kind of roll from there.
Okay.
And I don't plan on doing like a big scene as far as getting breakfast in the camp. If you guys want to do that, uh, please like just state that you do. If you want to leave something, you can tell me what it is you leave, whether it's some coinage, maybe it's like gear, whatever that you think would be helpful. People will be very enthusiastic about anything that can be given, and respectful of the fact that you are indeed providing like compensation for the sort of meager meal that's being shared amongst everybody. Um, and
I
then
definitely want to. I do want to attend breakfast.
okay,
I just
and
am not going to eat it.
you just throw it on the ground in front of them.
No, 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 I'm
Just
not going
waste.
to take food. I'm going to attend breakfast to sort of, see what's up and whatnot. And I would want it to contribute meat. So,
Okay,
or
so
something.
yeah, I'm just saying that for right now, if you want to go do that later today or however you want to do it, you can absolutely do it. I'm just saying in the moment right now, it would take time for you to like make it to the forest, create this, and by that time the breakfast tent might be shut down. So that's why I'm saying, so like in the moment right now, maybe can't, but absolutely can moving forward.
Okay.
And not to like drag too much out of you with it. Whatever you are trying to find, you can find in this camp. And then if you want to just sort of DM me, or you want to take the wheel and sort of talk through a scene that you want to talk about, you can absolutely do that.
Okay.
But
Look for
everybody,
like a tank.
an actual
You
tank.
said you could find it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
actual
found a tank in the woods when I was on my
Find
hunt in the
a
afternoon.
Panzer.
Can
Here
we
we
keep
go.
them?
We've been tailing them for a while.
You actually find Frank the tank. He's punching cereal boxes in the woods.
Perfect.
Right. We'll name him Will.
That's even better than we ever could have hoped for.
It's everything I asked for and more. All right, so if everybody just gonna like grab some food before sort of making a plan for the day?
Can we just say I already caught the meat and I already have it with me?
Not
I
yet.
did it this morning.
Not yet.
Okay.
An elf, an early riser.
Only need 4 hours.
Right. Oh, a monk.
Just tells me
Right.
that it's not going to be so easy to catch a squirrel, apparently.
They're sleeping.
How do you train to be a monk? I just catch squirrels every day. That's what I do.
Like flies with chopsticks.
I mean that would be some sort of like anime explanation.
Oh, 100%. I'm just saying that they're much furrier and much bitier than flies with chopsticks. But yeah. So
I like the way you said that. Where flies with chopsticks, as though the flies are the ones with the chopsticks.
they're coming at you.
Right.
If you've ever fought a fly with a chopstick, it's scary.
Yeah, you can walk in the house. Hey, look, I'm home.
Once-
Chopsticks right at the eyeball.
That's
Right.
you guys just did the Instagram joke of, do you think a shrimp could actually do this? And he's frying rice. That's been a trend that's been on.
That's
for a
excellent.
bit.
I saw a picture the other day of somebody reading a book. It said, "Is my cat trying to kill me?" And in the background was a cat who was making a face that was most definitely, "I'm trying to murder you." And it made me laugh out loud. I was like, that's exactly how life goes sometimes. But all right, so you guys grab breakfast, do what you're going to do here in camp, and then what is your plan for today?
fine torrent, I would imagine.
Okay.
And Molrock, he didn't sleep with us, did he? He's not here.
I met up with you guys at the end of last time.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how to. I can't be locked down to be a student, but see how I can get permission to the.
Online courses.
Yeah, it's in the. What the hell is it called? Fuck. Never mind.
Lyceum.
No, I was trying to think of like the monk ability to like lift out of your body. Astral plane. It's in the
Astral
astral
projection.
plane. Yeah, astral projection. I'll just astral project there. But
Right.
I would mention that there were like posters up around the school that they're trying to recruit for a cause. I'm trying to remember what the cause was. It was the War Department needs you, and it was we can meet with instructor Karen Sicart.
I think you got it. Sicart. Yep.
Kernan, yeah.
Yeah, that one I have in my notes. Kiernan Steckert.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I'm pronouncing it. I don't know if that's correct or what was said. Just based on my reading of what I wrote, based on the pronunciation that I heard.
Instructor Kiernan Steckart. Stekrt. Kart. Steckart.
Well, I spelt it right.
Oh, I think I put it in the chat. I think I may, and I think TJ was like, "Nope, that's not what I thought," or he said, "Yep, that's what I thought." It was one of those two. Covering all
Oh,
bases.
yeah, it's right there.
I think what I will have you guys do,
Fuck off, Windows 11.
because Richie or not Richie isn't with us, and I can't have him share any of this. I will have everybody roll a gather information check.
What's that?
So that would be your persuasion, or yeah, I would say your persuasion. That's probably your best conversational skill. I'm thinking, right?
Yeah, I guess so. If we're trying to get information, or are we trying to like Assassin's Creed it, like Eagle Vision, like zoom in?
No,
and
this
stuff?
is more
that
just
what-
like listening to rumors as you're having breakfast. So actually, it could be perception too. So
Could it be investigation?
that would be another one that it could be as well. I think it
Okay.
could be any of these. So if any of these strike your fancy, see what you can get. So there's one roll, so only one person had fancy. Okay.
I want to do some acrobatics too.
I perceive as I cartwheel over people's faces.
La la la! It's very entertaining for people. It's my charisma.
It's everything is, it's taking a bit to get there.
So we're trying to get different rumors.
Yeah, see what you can learn while you're there.
Gathering
because
info.
Everybody's talking.
And this is at the current place we are, like where we're having dinner or breakfast.
Yep.
Okay. Are there any magic users there?
You know what? That's a good question. I think that there may be some folks with limited magic capabilities. For
Yeah,
sure.
you remember when Tony Stark and Bruce Banner met each other for the first time, and they're like, "Oh, finally, someone that speaks English."
I do.
Can I throw out an Arcana and speak magic with these guys?
You know
That's
what?
my in.
For shits and gigs, and because I love it, you're just walking around mumbling to yourself, hoping somebody else mumbles back. Why don't you roll that with advantage?
Sweet. I needed it.
All right, so let's go down the list. I'm gonna give something to obscurity, maybe 2 based on that acrobatics roll. Nim, unfortunately or fortunately, you find the gruel so good that you're just sort of just encapsulated by it. So Venice, likewise, he's probably captivated by the amount of information that Figovich was able to gather that he did not while he was actually walking through the town. Ezekiel will get 2 things, and I will give 1 to Morak. So let's run down the list. one of the big stories that that Obscurity hears is that, and I don't know if Obscurity would know anything about this, so maybe she wants to tell other people about it. But the story is that in Gate Pass, the war wizard Gabal eventually emerged from hiding. That's the guy that the school was named after, and let Regessian inquisitors inside the walls. But effectively, he did this just so he could shut the gates behind them and then assault them and take them out. Apparently, Regessian losses were nearly 2,000 in one day. Unfortunately, the Inquisitors managed to locate Gabal and dispel like his magics, and a dragon under the sway of or on board with the Regessians showed up and incinerated the mage. So that's
so the mage Gabal.
Gabal.
So that's
yes.
how he died.
Yes. I mean, that's okay. You're getting rumors. Whether these are true or not, just like what Figovich is giving you for information, best case scenario, yes, it's true. Worst case is nothing but lies. Probability is it's somewhere in between. Going down the list, going to Ezekiel. Ezekiel hears that the Shealesti, the elves, are believed to be providing supplies to Gate Pass at this point, which is what's forcing Regessia to keep attempting to assault instead of like sieging the tower. Like, so sieging, they'd be locked in, they'd have to survive on what they have. Somehow the elves are trying to get or are getting supplies in so that they can stay there indefinitely. You also Ezekiel also hears that the first Regessian army led by General Magnus has halted hostilities because of bad weather and is now roaming the eastern plains of the Sindare, pillaging everything he encounters. As far as like again, whether this is true or not, these could just be wild speculations and rumors. But this is what Ezekiel hears. There, who's next? And then Moruk, you actually kind of pick up two things. The first is that no one knows what has happened to all the mages that were grabbed during the Scourge, and that was the event that was going on when you guys first started in Gate Pass, and they were coming in and trying to demand all the spellcasters and take them away. In fact, a couple of you almost got abducted by people who were going to turn you over to Regessia for that. But so nobody knows what has happened to all of these people that have been taken. And then the other thing that you hear, and this one you can take as more or less fact, is that the nation of Ostalin has so far continues to be unaffected by the war. So they're kind of like, for whatever reason, being left alone by all sides. And that sort of like is developing into this kind of concept of people are either like all for Ostalin providing aid for everybody else, or Ostalin's refusal to do that is making them sort of like the sore thumb in the nations against Regessia, because they're not losing anything, so why aren't they contributing? I think
right.
I'm just going to make sure, like, I don't think I can do a Control Z on this, but I'm going to click on Show to Players again, and the map for the whole empire, if you look in your journal, you should be able to see. And basically, Regessia is this huge area up to the north. The Shealesti have the kind of northeast. You guys are in Dason right now, which is directly south of the mountains that Gate Pass is in, and that's where Sequin is. Obviously, that's where you are right now. But further south and to the west as well as Ostalin, so it's the most southerly of all of it. And then the Sindar are the nation that is on the western side of the continent that you're on. And so if that rumor about the Regessians like rampaging through the Sindar area would mean that some of the army has split from Gate Pass, has traveled around those mountains and I think it's called the Heart of History, and then are like invading the Sindar that way. So maybe the forces are splitting, maybe not, but those are the rumors. So just to give an update with regards to that.
To confirm, what I'm looking at on the map doesn't seem like the Regessians would need to go through Gate Pass to get to Sindar. So it sounded like Gate Pass, from what you said, that Gate Pass was sort of compromised, like Regessians are using it at will to move around.
No. So the rumors that you heard were that Cabal opened up. So basically, Gate Pass had been resisting.
Oh, so that this just happened.
Yeah, these are rumors as far as things that may have happened like this week, maybe last month. You're not sure. These are rumors of things going on.
Got it.
I mean, you guys have been traveling for several weeks at this point, right? So maybe this is new news, but it's definitely news that's
new news to
you, right?
Yeah. Right.
And so you're right. You're right that there is a way for the Regessians to travel down to the Sindar, but they would have to basically work through the mountain passes, either through the Heart of History or the Elite Gap, which nobody has mentioned yet. So it may be that like that second army pulled its forces off, retreated back around through the Heart of History, and is coming to the Sindar that way. Or maybe there's another pathway somewhere.
Okay. And so they said that Gabal was... The Inquisitors found Gabal. They found Gabal in Gates Pass or elsewhere?
Yeah, so the rumor when you were in Gate Pass was that Gabal had gone into hiding to avoid the Scourge.
I assume that meant out of Gate Pass.
Yeah, well, yeah, and hopefully
was just hiding in one of the basements.
Right? Like, yeah, but the people that were at Gabal School were still all spellcasters staying there, presumably for a reason, and it was probably because they either knew Gabal was still in Gate Pass or that he was providing coverage of some sort for them. And so it sounds like the story is basically he shows up and goes, "I've had enough of this," opens the gates, people start rushing in, and then like in a classic like pincer maneuver, puts the gate shut behind them and just opens up holy hell on all those people that are now stuck in one of the lower districts, because Gate Pass was broken up into those zones, and destroyed. The rumor is something like 2,000 plus Regessians that came into there just with like his spells alone.
And people, I assumed they were like Regessian military that he let in. Are we talking about Regessian like just people, citizens?
No. And like soldiers.
Okay. So he slaughtered soldiers.
Correct. Yeah. No. He. Well, as far as the rumor goes, I mean, maybe Gabal is killing innocents too.
Right. Okay.
Who knows? But
cool. And
I mean, if they're charging in and attacking the city, at what point do they stop being innocents?
Right. And that, so the rumor is also that it was some sort of dragon fire that took Gabal out.
Yeah, the rumor was that a red dragon came and basically charbroiled him.
Napalm. And so what I know of red dragons, could I maybe assume that there's been excessive catastrophic damage to Gate Pass, or at least to the school, or to whatever area Gabal happened to be standing in at the time? Like, it might be significant, bigger than a body?
If a red dragon, like not a wormling or like a young red dragon, but an adult or older red dragon, decided to lay waste to Gate Pass, it would probably do a very good job of doing it.
Yeah.
Now, if the red dragon is... There could be many things that are going on here. Again, these... But like, if the Red Dragon was sent or manipulated to destroy Gate Pass, it would probably do a really good job before eventually arrows and the rate the D20s are might eventually take him out, right? But if he was sent to deal with a spellcaster and then flew away to do other things, it may have been a one-shot kind of thing. And the reason I say that is, if this other rumor that the Shaelesti are feeding supplies to keep Gate Pass going, maybe Gate Pass is still going, but no one's really sure.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
I mean, rumors, as clear as they can be.
Mm-hmm. And Kevin, did you write down all that other stuff that Kane found out?
The War Wizard, Gabel, let people in. Shalesti are providing gate pass. The first Regestian army, it's halted by bad weather, now roaming. Are you saying in the Sindari, in the east?
Yes, the Sindar, I think, is the west, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So is it in the west?
Yes, Sindaire, Sindare.
Oh, I'm looking at the map.
Yeah.
No one knows what happens to all the magic users taken by the Inquisitors, and Oslin is pretty unscathed by any of the happenings in the war so far, and people are not happy about it.
I mean, and also, you guys, like, even if the Shaelesti are providing resources to Gate Pass, you guys found out some pretty shady stuff about the elves in your last sort of arc of this adventure. Like, they literally set fire to their brethren in the Fire Forest, making it the Fire Forest. So, are the elves to be trusted? I mean,
not at all.
Now, that's the Shaelisti, and then there's like the Shaharalisti, right? Those are different. That's the one. That's the one that, or is that? Am I just? Did I just misunderstand it? Where Shialis, is she with the Shaelisti?
Yes. So
okay.
She is. So all of the elves that you guys, apart from the folks that you met in the Fire Forest, all of the elves are part of the Shaelisti. What their connection to that is,
including obscurity,
including apparently, is kind of up for question. Like, when you guys met, does anybody remember the guy that you guys met on the way here?
Which one?
So Thalen,
the
like
guy that checked us.
Yep, that gave you guys an ocular pat down. Yes,
a beat down. That's not what it was.
So Thalen is part of the Shaelesti as well, but Thalen legitimately thought that, like, they were doing good. Like, I think you guys rolled insight checks and found that, like, he was not somebody that was seeking to do ill. Like, he was legitimately trying to, like, keep the people of Sequin safe by making sure that, like, people weren't coming in with, like, stuff and things that were going to destroy the folks.
And he's a high ranking elf of some sort.
Correct.
I wonder if we run into him again, if he would be an ally that I would want to know about the scroll tube.
Why? Why would you wonder that?
Because
how do you think him knowing could help us?
Because it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, if now I'd have to gain, not gain his trust, he'd have to gain more of my trust and our trust. But my thoughts are, would he be someone who would be helpful against, the corruption of the other Shaelesti who are, trying to cause these things to happen?
Right.
You know,
I mean, I
elves,
definitely suspect.
elves are individuals. I'm surprised you didn't
Right.
know that.
My point being is I would suspect that he's an honorable man and he will do what's right. And if there's corruption on either side, he will be on the side of non-corruption. I just
Right.
don't know why we would tell him specifically about the scroll.
Well,
I think that Kevin,
we would
Kevin
tell him
Grayson
about the
doesn't find
scroll
talent.
like tube to be able to maybe combine those and then actually have the information sort of thing. Again, he has gone, and I'm not saying that we search for him and try and do this, but
Understood.
potentially this is just something where it's like back of the mind, just kind of keep that in our in our minds, just that hey, maybe that might be a guy to deal with on this. He might be an ally
Yeah.
with which to use this to its most full potential.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I think he seemed like somebody that we could trust. And,
It feels
you know.
it feels like something where like there might be different, and I could just be wrong. He might just be like, no, we just want to protect Sequin, but also the elves are elves. I'm an elf. Screw you guys. Well, I'm part of the Shayalistic. So
And I think one
we'll have
point
to see.
be made. One point to be made is that I think I spoke in too much of a generalization when I said all the elves. There are elves that live in Regesia. There are elves that lived in Gate Pass. There are elves that live everywhere. But the majority of elves and the kind of connective bond that they share all fall with the Shayalistic. There are definitely actors that are outside of that sphere of influence. But the other part of that is, where does somebody's loyalties lie? Do they lie in what is right, or do they lie in what they think is right, or do they lie in just blind faith that their leadership is telling them the right things to do? I mean, you guys have seen that already in the people of Dason, where there were some folks that were being helpful, and there are other folks that are just ripping refugees off as they go through, right? And these are dwarves, orcs, and humans doing the same to their same. So this world, like our own, is full of machinations, both good, bad, and indifferent.
Yes. Mostly bad.
Well, and gods for Twilight Seas and other things like that. But sure, yes.
Yee.
So, so you guys have had some breakfast. You did some cartwheels. With
I
that.
yeah,
Excellent.
I also contributed. I had a bag of salt on me, so I contributed a bag of salt. I'll be back with the meat.
Hold the salt. Gonna have to salt some meat later.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, salt's hard to fucking come by in war time, so
No one is saying no. No,
food
everybody
sucks
again.
without it.
Very, very happy that you're providing stuff. I like to think that you spent every penny of the sapphire that you sold on salt, and you just gave them
Oh, I did not. I
bushels
had
of
the salt and the sapphire at the same
bushels
time.
of salt.
Enough salt for everybody.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like to accomplish, or what are you guys setting off to do next?
I don't know. There's really much else. It's funny because I'm trying to remember the name. I want to say it was like Julie or Judy or something like that. But in the
Right?
meantime,
That's what I thought.
right.
So
I don't know
you're
if I have
pretty
to put
close.
that out there though.
So the guy that came up to Nim said her name was Jess.
Jess. Okay. Blonde Jess. Careful. You might forget a whole bunch of stuff if you find her.
I actually, with this second, like,
Hey, I didn't remember her in the first place. Both when I did a history check and when it was brought up earlier. specifically Kevin didn't remember it. So I mean,
you're starting to suffer for some effects of Jess, some Jess effects.
Well, that's
Ulrich,
what I'm being warned about. But
Ulrich,
I'm just saying
you
it's
might be the best person to do this. Why don't you roll?
that's like trying to mind control Patrick Starr, and it's just like, oh shit, you're immune.
So, Morek, why don't you give me another Arcana check?
Okay.
And just while he's doing that, she gave this message, and it was just that she was looking for us, and looking for, was it me specifically?
No,
It was
it
you.
wasn't you specifically. It was the group.
Oh,
But when you
Okay.
were walking by yourself, you were noticed
I was
by the buddy old
recognized.
man that was in the
Yeah.
Yes. With a 10, yeah, Morek, you're a little bit baffled by this. Are you trained in our Arcana? Are you proficient in Arcana, Nim?
No.
No.
I've got +1.
Is there anybody else that in the party that is?
Sylvanas, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, probably Sylvanas. So yeah, if you want to do a Sylvanas roll.
Let's do a Sylvanas roll.
Sylvanas? Oh, Jesus Christ! Why did I?
yeah, nice. At least he still got it. We don't actually need Eric
I want to
here.
give the
Right.
party information,
Not
so
Dave.
then it's just roll. It doesn't even
Right.
matter. Somebody roll for him. So
Right.
it does seem that people's behaviors are being affected by something, and the more you're learning, it's sounding more and more like some kind of enchantment, or enchantment-like spell, or ability, or something.
In general?
Yeah,
No, but Jess. Right?
like everybody
yeah.
who's coming up and reporting that Jess is looking for you, or a
Okay, so
blonde
yeah,
is looking for
then
you.
everyone is this is the Jess stuff still. Okay.
Yes.
It's the
Sorry,
Jess.
I misunderstood the question. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
It's not like there's a fog.
Just
hanging over
everyone.
the
Yeah, no. There's not a pervasive enchantment mist in the area.
Right.
Just everybody who's talking about Jess is like, oh
It's
yeah,
the red dragon!
she's got red. I mean blonde. I mean green. She had hair and eyes.
Oh,
and,
did she?
Blonde and Greek?
Right.
She's bleak. She's very
Oh.
bleak. She's a
Oh.
poet.
Bleak and Greek.
I thought Greek was. I mean, Greek would have been the way to go.
Greek is the new bleak. Yeah, all right.
Like, let's go
Right.
find this Jess. I don't care if I forget everything.
Blonde and
I
Greek.
think we found out what obscurity is to do. We just
You
need
don't
a
know anything.
Greek woman, or a Greek person for that matter, and we'll go. All right. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. I'm calling it out. So, all right. So, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
You know that
I'm
Torrent wants to
searching
do-
for an eagle rider.
So again, the party can break up, do whatever you want to do. Torrent is somewhere in the north.
Northwest.
Yep.
The
I'll click on it.
party can break up.
Basically,
You're just not the same monk you used to be when we started.
somewhere up here, because that's where. No, I'm sorry, that's not what I said. Torrent is gonna be hanging out over by the Lyceum,
Lyceum.
area. Yes, trying to she's sort of working on her own projects at this point, but she wants to do the introductions for the party to her former mentor, master, whose name is Lee Sidoneth. I think we talked about that last time. So that's one thing. Kevin Nim has heard that there's somebody who's trying to rally the clerics and the clergy together, and she has a friend in a giant eagle, so that's a thing. And I think at this point that's what you guys know, because that's what Figovich has been able to give you guys, and then you found out a bunch of stuff about the wolf. So you tell me how the party's going to go from here.
Just clarification: is Lee Sedona is the one who flies the eagle, or Jess flies the eagle?
No, Lisa Dona
So we
is
need
the
to
master
stop
of
fanboying
Torrent.
on Jess.
Oh, that's right. Laura
You gotta
Beck
just stop
flies an
fanboying
eagle.
on Jess.
Laura Beck Aylesberg
Laura Beck.
is the one who
Right, the eagle flyer.
rides the eagle. Yeah.
Got it. Oh, Jess.
Jesus. What have I done?
Not much.
You made her
not much,
Greek.
really. Honestly, I made
Apparently, I
Greek.
didn't have to do much.
Yeah, but I'm gonna blame Tom anyway.
So
Don't
yeah.
blame
So
Tom for
I
bad
mean,
ideas.
again, so yesterday you guys kind of split up and went to go search and do things. You are absolutely welcome to do that again. We'll probably have to round robin who goes where and does what. I do think that what makes the most sense for not Richie, aka Sylvanus, is that Sylvanus will go back to do some more interactions with the Wayfarers because it literally
Because they
is
got
something
what
that
they need.
probably, yeah, it calls to him, this group of like traveling spell casting minstrels who like put on shows around the world and teleport everywhere and just get paid for. I mean, kind of,
They
I feel like
teleport without burning up.
um he doesn't really
Well,
have
let's
an
not
answer
get
for you
greedy.
about that. Well, he does at this point. He doesn't have an answer for you about that. But what he can provide and what he did discover was that the Wayfarers are hands down the most proficient group at teleportation of any kind, and that prior to the sort of current scenario that the continent is in, they traveled freely from port to port, putting on their shows and their performances from their ship, which sounds interesting because boats are only so big. But he also tells you that there is a show coming up, or that the Wayfarers do regular shows that seat 100 people below deck in a comfortable presentation slash like auditorium,
It's a cruise
which also
ship,
sounds strange. But
Like from Pokemon.
like Carnival
And
cruises.
nothing else.
Carnival Cruise, the Pokemon of the real world. You know what? I should probably sell that to Carnival Cruise because they'd make a mint on that. People would be like, oh, "For real?"
Yes, but you have to fight someone.
No,
While
you
someone
have to fight
else
other
yells
trainers.
out the moves that you're supposed to be doing.
They just give you red, white, and black balls, and you have to whip at each other until somebody drops into submission. And it's like somebody goes to the hospital, somebody goes to the main deck for a drink, and that's how it goes.
Right?
But yeah, so
Okay.
what's happening?
So, yeah, we've got those two. What would Kane be doing? Is he out shopping for curtains?
I mean, as much as I think that would be funny, I think it makes sense that Kane would go with one of the groups that are breaking up. Just not breaking up, you know what I mean? Like going, if you're guys are going to go one direction, he'd go with the group. But if you're going to go separate
Yeah,
direction, yeah.
Yeah, so where are you guys thinking of going?
So this is the area that Nim is thinking about down here, where the all of the churches are. Up here is where the fires have been being set, and over here is where Torrent has said that she wants to meet you, and that she will do an introduction to her mentor, like master kind of scenario, her teacher, which will probably provide an inn for getting to meet the Lyceum and the heads of the Lyceum, which Morak, you like without even talking to her, you feel it's probably the best way, without like exchanging cash or whatever, would get you the ability to get into all aspects of the Lyceum instead of just like the general public library.
I don't have much to do, so I'm down with going with anybody to do anything. Obviously, I think all of us should meet up with Torrent so that we can all be
Yeah.
introduced. So that should be a group thing.
And then the Lyceum.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I feel like with your innate abilities, you'd be able to help sneak around and find some books in the forbidden section or something.
For sure. There's never enough lighting in a library. Perfect.
Huh. Why did that do that? Oh, wait. There we go. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to go there first, and that, because my thing isn't like crucial or anything, so maybe it's something where we do all go there first. So then, especially where then Moruk might be able to gain access and find out he's able to do some stuff. So whether it's depending on how long it is, let's say it's the morning is spent dealing with this, so then we have the afternoon that we can take care of our own stuff, and then that could hopefully get Moruk access to the Lyceum.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
All right, so everybody's going to head to go find Torrent.
Yes.
All right. So the party gears up, grabs what stuff and things they need, and set out. And shortly thereafter, whether it's because Figovich has run before you and tracked her down and been like, "Here, she's or whatever it is, you guys easily find Torrent, and you can see she comes up to you and smiles and says, like, "It's good to see you again. It's good to see that you find yourselves well. I'd like you guys to go and meet with Lise Sidonev, my mentor." And she seems kind of bummed out, like visibly bummed out.
But why, though?
She goes, "How is it you speak so clearly to my heart that I have to answer you?"
Right.
She's already gone and met with Lee, and he is excited to meet the heroes, and she's excited to introduce you. And as a favor, he is willing to, just after talking with her and hearing about your escapades and everything that you've done thus far, both sort of like to thwart Regessia's goals and also to kind of help those that want to come to Sequin to find sanctuary. He wants to entreat with the Lyceum War Council and have you be part of a meeting with them. But that said, there's kind of a couple things. The first is that she goes, "Listen, we're here, and if that's how this is going to work, I mean, Lee's probably going to say the same thing, but our best chance of getting people on this council to hear us out, besides that we're adventurers, we've come from Gate Pass, we've seen a bunch of shit, is try and help the people here." And like Obscurity, I'm sure you're like, "I'm fucking helping people by salting and meat," but like whatever the case is, she's like, "I think that the more we can do, because it will likely take a day or two before we can meet with this council, the more we can do to gain repute here in town, the more it will do to have our voices be recognized of substance when we talk to the War Council." And she kind of goes, "When I went and met with Lee, he's different. He's still the same person. He's still the capable, amazing, like, fighter, caster person that led me to train with him, but there's just something that's wrong. And I don't know what, like, I don't, like, I know there's a war going on, I know there's stuff happening, but I just, like as I was waiting to go in and talk with him, I just heard things in other rooms that make me cringe. That like people were in his house talking about like transmuting. Are you familiar with what that is?
Nope.
Moruk, you probably know what this is. Transmutation is a school of magic. But she goes on to describe that transmutation, instead of turning like, the classic alchemy led to gold, transmutation is also the changing of any one thing to another thing. And what she overheard was about changing living things into other living things. In the sense of
Like polymorph?
Body
Right.
dysmorphia.
That's like the only thing that's going through my mind. So like
So where
polymorph.
polymorph is go be a thing, and then when you run out of hit points be another thing. This is, hey, you're an elf. That's pretty cool. Now you're a fucking octopus or you're an octopus person with tentacles, and you're stuck like that forever. And she goes, I heard.
Now, when you say stuck like that, as though it sounds like a bad thing.
Well, listen, if you so she stops and smiles.
Who's
and says,
offering?
if your thing is to be an octopus tentacle monster, I'm not saying you're wrong with choices. What I'm saying is, this sounded again. I heard in muffled tones.
8 arms for 8 maces.
It just seemed like there was discourse going on about changing people into things that maybe they shouldn't.
Like the you auntie. This is the part where Tom copies my game instead of me copying
Copy.
See, when you started saying turning living things, I thought you were going to say into dead things. And it's like, that's what we do all the time, so I don't see the problem. You've seen us doing this. But, okay.
Like the transmuting of flesh against flesh's will is not okay. And whether Lee is part of this so Lee is a businessman, he is part of a lot of aspects, but this is not anything that I had ever come across before. And maybe I shouldn't. Maybe this is something that he's working on that's outside my understanding, and I refuse to call him out and challenge him on it because I have too much respect for him. But this is what I heard, and it's just not sitting right in my.
Okay.
She goes, but if I still think that he is the right inroad to make to go and meet with the Lyceum, specifically the Lyceum's War Council, and I think that everything that we have gone through to this point needs to be in front of that council, and our voices need to be heard.
Agreed.
Katrina, who's still with you, is like, hell yeah!
Okay.
Slaps Obscurity on the shoulder and says, I see it's getting better. I mean, they're not perfect yet, but you're working on it. And unless there's any debate to be had,
No response from Obscurity.
Full on deadpan. Perfect. She's just snapping her fingers and fire's coming out. Snap. Lee will lead you. Lee will lead you to not Lee. I'm sorry. Torrent will lead you to Lee's house if you guys are all down to go do this.
Onward.
All right. So, northwest of the harbor, a dome-shaped island is connected to the north shore by a 100-foot-long boardwalk that crosses the choppy sea. On the map, there's nothing that shows this particularly, but I'm going to say it's right there. Yep, you got a line. You nailed it. Yep. At the walkway's end, the path splits with a set of soggy wooden stairs that descend down to a dock below, and a hewn rock staircase that rises to the island's top and ends in elaborate, multifaceted doorway. The main door is currently slightly ajar, and there is a small piece of parchment fixed to it that says, in common, "Welcome, enter freely. I'm usually in the back tending to Lula." Torrent will, as she is with you, say, "I'll go get him." Torrent is the giant squid he keeps as a pet.
That's interesting, because did he name it after his pupil?
All right. Tom, as a DM, doesn't know what that is a reference to.
Yes, I know. You said Torrent is the giant squid he keeps as a pet. But
I apologize.
You meant to say
Torrent
Lula or whatever.
Lula is, yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Very well played. Well played. Because I'm like, is that like an anime reference? What the fuck is this?
I have the power of God and anime on my side.
I've got it.
Actually, I kind of.
As Torrent heads down the stairs towards the docks, and where there's like several sort of alcoves that the stairwell leads down to. Yep, there she is. Boop.
God and anime.
God and anime. Maybe you're moving back up like the hotness ranks. Kane's not here to disavow. So
no, again, we went over it. She looks too young. She's
I'm
probably 1,000 years old, but
I'm just gonna do it. Everybody else moves into the house, and in the main foyer, there is a table.
This is the one we got?
Wait,
sorry, I keep interrupting. We're moving into the house.
Yes. So, Torrent had said, "I'll go get Lee. Go ahead into the house." As you guys move into the house, there is like a main kind of ballroom with a large table. And there are already two guests sitting at the table who kind of look up at you as you guys come in. Two, what you can only assume are brothers because of the similarities that they share with each other in both like sort of body structure and facially. And they turn and look at you as you guys come in and sort of nod and sort of like give a wave of welcome and sit, and they're both sort of like, oh, we waiting for Lee to come back in. Where are you Lee's guests as well? These individuals appear to be adorned in sort of regular clothing, but they also, as is the wont of these times, to have some armaments / weapons on themselves. But they do not appear hostile in any way and are just saying hello.
As the music starts in.
No, this is the same
fucking
music
roll initiative.
Refresh.
Make sure you click to have it go on the loop.
I did. Well, I had to refresh the page because I don't know if you changed something on the map or somebody did something, but just like when in the final battle of Frostmaiden, every time TJ moved his piece, like my whole map went blark, and I was like, I didn't reset. So
I did have to change something on the map. It was a token, so I put it on the map layer,
okay, so
not to be dragged around
yeah, no,
by accidents.
no worries, no worries. So so basically, you guys come in and they kind of say hello. They offer that there's tea at the table that they are both drinking currently, and say if anybody's interested, there's more than enough. Please come in and sit. It appears we're all waiting for Lee to get here.
And just I might want to just start trying to throw these out a little bit more, but like a passive insight of 17, they're fine kind of thing. Like, I don't want to make a big deal of it, but like
Neither
everything
of them
seems cool.
are hostile. Like they turn and look at you holding like their tea, and neither of them reaches for a weapon. Like no hand shifts down to get ready. They just turn expecting someone else genuinely look surprised and are like, "Oh, hello. We thought that you were going to be Lee. Are you waiting for as well?" And then say, "Please come join us." Effectively.
All right. Thank you, and I will walk up and join them. Depending on how many seats are there, I'll get some tea and introduce myself. You know, the party that I'm traveling with. I won't actually introduce anyone of them in particular, in case anyone wants to remain in obscurity or anything like that.
As obscurity just takes one of their teacups as if they were serving her with it, and she just sits down and starts drinking.
Like, do you sit down right next to one of them?
Yeah, I'll take the teacup
Just
of
on
the
his
person,
lap.
And I'll just sit right next to them and start drinking their tea.
Oh well, I mean, listen, I as far as I know, I'm clean bill of health. So please drink. I will have some myself. It's jasmine and oolong. It's quite good.
I sip it and I say, delicious.
I would
I
hope
don't
so,
say anything
because
else.
I don't think I've come across a jasmine oolong yet, but if I could, I would. Just saying, especially chilled. But sadly, this is warmed, so suck. But anyways, yeah. So and so shortly thereafter, you know what? I probably want to give you a better description of this cat than just like his name is Lee. So,
Do they say their names, or do they have names?
they don't offer names, but you can ask if you like. Or I mean, they said, "Who are you?" And so
yeah, and I introduce myself, and this is the party that I'm traveling with, and then like I said, I don't say any of their names.
Came and grabbed a cup out of one of their hands and sat down.
Right,
so like,
absolutely. She,
right.
I don't know that she said her name or anything.
I did.
Right. See, and that's why I wasn't gonna introduce anyone. Just right.
Well,
so it's
we
just
meant the cups that were over here, but you know what? Hey, I'll take it. New cup, new lips, whatever. Totally cool. My one of the gentlemen, or they are not dressed as gentlemen, so they are dressed as people who are not unaccustomed to work and labor.
Okay.
Says my name is Brutus, and this is my brother Setulus. Maybe I'm fucking this up, but Setales, Setulus. I'm gonna say Setulus. And
was
they're
it
like
Brutus or Brutalis?
Brutus, like the guy that stabbed Julius.
Yeah.
And Setulus, Setales. And so Brutus and Setlius, actually, you know what? I think, do I have a better description of them? Maybe? So Brutus is a half orc that it appears more muscular than like his brother. His hands are definitely calloused, but he wears robes, which like seems sort of what the hell's that word? Why is my brain not working right now? Like seems like an oxymoron.
Oxymoronish?
Like he seems like he should be an armor, and he's wearing what appears to be like the robes of a wizard. And so maybe they're just more comfortable because of his size, but that's what he's guarding. And the robes are quite nice. They don't appear to be like trashed or beat up. They look either new or very well taken care of. And Silas is the smaller of the two, but is definitely wearing armor, but has like a tunic over it, so that it does not appear as sort of like offensive as it came from. And I'd love you, specifically Nim, to give me an investigation check.
Oh, dirty 20.
Dirty 20 is enough that it looks like very old Regessian armor. Like not what the current military is wearing, but what maybe might be like a multi-generational or like an earlier order of Regessians could have had. Does that mean something, or is that just another indicator of all of the varied people that have traveled into Sequin, including yourselves? I mean, specifically including you. Like, I feel like, despite that we have some artwork, your armor may in fact appear Regessian in nature as well. So
Yeah.
But you do notice that as a fact.
That's an interesting thing to get into. Holy shit. Okay.
And so they effectively are sitting there. They share tea. And
No. Sorry. It's different because I started with chainmail that would have been Regessian, but I'm in plate, and it was separate, and I did a different thing. So like I went away from that.
Broke out or because you left?
Yes, I got rid of the chainmail, and that actually that's cool. So yes. No, I do not have armor that looks Regessian, specifically, anymore.
That is very fair. That is very fair. I think that
because I was thinking like, wait, crap, maybe I did, but the fact that I have a different armor than my starting armor, it's just like, oh no, I got rid of it, and I got real slow because it's too heavy for me.
So, as you are noticing this as discord happening, you all hear footsteps towards the front door. And as the door swings open and light spills in, you see an individual you haven't seen before that Torrent is following. And you see a tall, like I would say slightly taller than average, bald, tanned, muscular man, dressed like human, I should say, dressed like a fisherman. So he's got this kind of like canvas tunic on. He's got these kind of oilskin pants that you can tell like get sloshed and then dry immediately kind of thing. He's got these oilskin slippers on that probably do the same thing. Big smile on his face, and much like the if like everybody remembers Aang in the Avatar, where there were those like blue lines with the arrows, rather than like arrows, there appear to be these swirling wave tattoos that wrap around his upper arms and go down to his forearms and end just above his wrists. They don't go to his actual and they're like blue and black and white, and they look like, I want to say it's Hideyoki's wave, but you know, like the classic Japanese wood print that everybody's seen of the wave, of like the
Yeah.
big cresting. They look like that, and they kind of, from where where his shoulders emerge from the tunic that he's wearing, they wrap around from his shoulder down his arm.
Did you know that artist also did another famous Japanese painting?
I didn't. What is it? Or maybe I did. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'll find it. Continue.
Okay. I do want to take a quick aside and just say one of my favorite things to think about is, like, what if there were monsters in the world, right? Like, what would that be like? And one of the best lenses that we can look historically at to a time when potentially there were monsters in the world is art, specifically ancient art. And I've had a lot of fun talking about, like, the archaic Greek art on urns that we can see. But one of the favorite things I've seen is in Japanese wood blocks are samurai fighting giant crabs. And I just imagine some, like, seafaring village 1,000 years ago just wake up on a morning, and on any given morning, a giant monster crab could come out and just start laying waste to your village. And that's a real threat. Like, that's a real thing to be concerned about. And I think that any of, like, the monsters that we develop in our minds or we think about as fantasy always come back to that as reality. And so this concept of, like, Japanese wood blocks just always makes me think of that. And I just go, I really love the fact that I live in a time when there's penicillin and, like, pharmacies and not giant crabs, and it makes me happy. So half the time. But yeah. So
Yeah.
But as Lee comes in, he kind of motions to Brutus and Satalis and says, "Listen, if you gentlemen don't mind, I'm going to see these folks in my foyer because there's several things I want to discuss with them, and I will come back and square. Actually, you know what, folks, would you mind heading through that door right there?" And he points to this, like, big, ornate mahogany door that just kind of opens as he points to it. And he says, "That's the foyer. There's already some snacks and some other teas and drinks set out in there. Please go in. These folks were here first, so let me take care of them, and I'll come in and deal with you next." What do you guys do?
Well, that's unacceptable. Everyone roll initiative.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And
I'll get
you
my
guys go
snack
in,
on.
And as opposed to, like, a big kind of dining room table scenario, you see a room that has a series of very comfortable looking couches, a big, it's not a bay window, but like this very grand window that opens as kind of like an oval that looks out over the water in the bay and the further reaches of the ocean. And there, sure enough, there's a table that's been set up with some teas and some cakes. And then there's another table off to the side that has some decanters that look like they have, like, liqueurs or other adult beverages inside of them. And so he says, "Please make yourself comfortable. Enjoy whatever you'd like. Torrent, if you wouldn't mind, head in there, and I'll be in just a moment. I want to finish with these folks." You see that this visibly kind of makes Torrent, her face kind of twitches, but she nods and she heads in. And as she comes in, kind of trailing behind you guys, doors close, and you see that she immediately runs over and, like, puts her ear to the door to listen back out into the main room. And a few, like, literally seconds later, she just kind of, like, her shoulders shrug. She goes, "I can't hear anything from these doors. I always forget that." And so there, like, anybody who wants to make a perception check can try, but basically, no matter what you roll, you'll just hear some murmuring. Actually, you know what? There's always a chance for a 20. So if you'd like to make a perception check, so be it. Or inclined to enjoy some very amazing delicacy treats, like what are patisseries? What are they called? What are the fancy like bakeries called? Patisseries? Dolan, you know. I feel you.
Figovich.
Figovich! They're called Figoviches!
Oh, how the game.
Figoviches! Oh.
4 26s in a row.
All right, so I'm going to ignore everybody except for the nat 20s, because I did say everybody except for nat 20s. Why did Kane roll 2 nat 20s?
No. I just have the other one open so I could kind of fix some stuff on the map and everything
And
like
you're going
that, bring the
back-
characters over, everything like that. These characters, by the way, have the correct night vision on them. So, copy,
Okay,
paste
so
from here, we're
I
good.
really wish we had done this before, because I moved everybody to maps earlier tonight, but I will come back and do this later. So don't worry about it.
No,
Or
whatever.
No one will see shit. So, but thank you for doing that, because this is a good basis to grab from as we're working.
Yeah.
So, even with a nat 20, Kane can't hear much, but he's pretty certain at some point he hears the name Handrian. And as like that sets in, moments later, the door opens up. As the door opens, you see the two individuals, Brutus and Sitalis, walking out the main door. And Lee comes in and he says, "Heroes, welcome to Sequin, if nobody's said it already. Torrent has told me much about your travels, your trials, your tribulations."
How about our triumphs?
He goes, "Maybe I should have started with that. Let it be said that I did open with heroes, and I think that is the right title for all of you. It makes my heart warm to know that Torrent has found adventuring companions who can bring her up to the level of the things that you have already attained, done. I mean, the Fire Forest. Nobody's made it through there in decades. It's amazing."
Well,
But
no one will ever pass through the Fire Forest again.
Well, it's. I mean, that's what Torrent's been sharing with me. Listen, my former student, my protege, if you will, has told me that you have traveled to Sequin from Gate Pass itself, and that you seek to meet with the War Council. Well, you sought to meet with the leadership of the Lyceum, and that leadership has grown in recent months with the influx of everyone coming to Sequin to seek some sort of asylum, and that War Council is meeting in 2 days' time. I think I can make this happen, especially with like everything that Torrin has already told me about what you've done. That said, I don't know if you've noticed, but Sequin is a town, though great and with a privileged history, needs a lot of help. And I'm not dictating you do anything. I will make sure that in 2 days' time, you have the ability to speak in front of the council. In fact, I will go so far as to say that you will make sure that you in that council meeting, not just as a presenter or a speaker, but anything you can do between now and then that taps into your capabilities or unique capabilities would probably go a long way. Now, please don't set fire to the town. Apparently they're doing that, and that's it's not really doing much for anyone. But There's a number of things that people need help with, if you haven't already heard. And from outside, Figovich is like, yeah, I have more things to tell you about when you have a moment.
One, how'd he get in here? Two, thank goodness it's a different group than the fire setting ones.
Don't worry, I know many things. I'm number one, you're number two. But anyways, but he goes on to say that I have no problem ensuring that you have an introduction to Simon, who is the head of the Lyceum. And I truly think that if you can do things that can help Sequin, then I appreciate your presence here in the city.
All right. Moruck, ask him. Ask him your thing. Moruck. You've got him here.
What?
I love to think that Moruck
Get
is
access.
just sitting there eating like a tea cake and just drinking, not even
You
listening. Just like, I don't
You
care.
finally have someone who can speak English to you, and dude. This is Mac finding his uncle, who's actually very nice and kind, and he's just like, okay, we gotta go.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Gain access to the Lyceum. Talk about spells. I don't know what you nerds do.
Yeah. How would one go about gaining access to the museum?
Oh,
Lee said, I don't know. So Lee responds is like, so typically the Lyceum has a heavy vetting that requires patrons that will support you, provide funding to the Lyceum while you're there, or some sort of like independent wealth that will carry you through. However, if you are capable of making a presentation in front of the council in 2 days' time and can provide some support for the city in that window, I have no problem backing you and providing my backing, my considerable backing, and ensuring that you can enroll as a student at the Lyceum.
What do people usually perform a presentation on?
So you were really soft. I'm sorry. What people usually
Perform a presentation on.
I think this is the presentation we're gonna give about like what's going on and like
in gate pass
the help and stuff. Yeah, he's talking about that in particular, not like one that for this or for
it's
you
like,
getting access.
Yeah. So like normally the sort of admission process is submitting the letter
Have a
of
ton of
interest,
money.
giving them some money, making like, and then they sit back and go, well, you've got money, but they've got more money, and they will probably name a wing of the library after them, and yada yada yada. Like this is a really riche kind of thing. But that said, one of the not founding members, but one of the like sort of pillars of Sequin is this guy Lee, and he is saying, I will gladly give you my backing to be a student if your presentation goes.
Can I insight this guy? Because it just seems so shady. Like, I feel like he's doing a huge favor for us to just report on what we know for the war and, like, help out the town. So I don't really trust why he's helping us. So
Do you ever trust anybody? Do you ever
not usually. So I think it's going to be a running theme.
Also, by the way, I've been in the corner, in the shadows, invisible this whole time.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I
literally
step out and go, surprise! Yeah.
I take somebody's tea and I step back.
Yeah.
Right.
And then disappear again. The teacup drops to the floor and smashes. Yeah, no.
Thank
perfect.
you.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. I'm gonna use my inspiration on this roll. Okay.
One of your
Ooh.
80? Okay.
I always have advantage.
With an 18, you feel like he's being legitimate. Like he seems like, he feels like I always hate starting a conversation like that for insight checks, but like your sensation is that he wants what's best for the town, and he legitimately sees you and the party, when you're not breaking his cups and stepping into shadows, as being something that's good for the town. And he wants to make the introductions for you. He wants to do what's best for Sequin. That's what you get from it.
Okay. Alrighty then. I guess I'll have to trust my DM now.
Boo.
Jesus Christ.
Usually considerably harder.
Wait, it's harder to trust me, or it's harder to trust me right now? I don't know what to do with that.
In general.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I mean, right now as DM. In real life, boring.
Yeah, like,
We
only
can
when
just
you're
always
DMing.
trust you. Right.
Well, you know what?
Oh, did Tom say this? He probably
pretty
means
nice.
that. Yeah.
Pretty nice. That's pretty nice.
Boring. He's always
In
telling the
this
truth.
reality. Exactly. Like, paladin level constantly tells the truth. Like, Tom, you didn't have to be that honest with me. Thank you.
That's why we wanted to record How to Catch a Predator earlier, because you're telling the truth again, Tom. So just yeah.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so so he offers that. He basically reiterates what Torrent had said, that over the next day and a half or so before this happens, anything you can do to kind of like greater your sense of worth to Sequin is good. And Torrent at that point says, well, I'm setting off to go see if I can make heads or tails of these fires. And she's like, if anybody wants to come with me, let me know, and we will go.
Oh, I'll go for that.
And so she's going to set off to here, sort of like direct north. I can't call it northeast or northwest. We'll just call it direct north of Sequin for there. If anybody wants to go do other things, you're welcome to. But just let me know what you want to do.
I think those were about where, excuse me, about where everyone was.
All right,
Kane's working on our house.
Wait, Wayfair.
Oh man, Kevin's doing stuff to the map again. Damn it.
What?
Why did the music stop, Kevin?
I don't know. You are the one that left.
I
There
didn't
we
leave.
go.
I just refreshed because my map went away.
I don't know. I'm not doing anything. I'm just moving characters.
All right, so we are at 11:14. Do we want to play for a bit longer? Because I'm totally fine to do that, but I also don't want to jump into something if you're not interested in jumping into something tonight. So I know there's only a group of 3, which makes it a little bit easier, but you guys tell me.
I'm pretty exhausted.
Oh, Moruck, that son of a bitch. I'm kidding. That's totally fine. So does this sound like a good point to hit like the pause button for tonight, and then we can pick up next week? Or it sounds like a good
I think that'll be good because we'll at least hopefully have Chris back, and not Rich.
And not Rich, for sure.
Right. He is gonna be gone for a bit.
Yeah. For a minute, for a hot minute, for sure.
Right.
But
And then we're
all right.
expected to
Rich
keep
or
a
not
bard
Rich
alive
is
in the
gonna be
meantime.
Both Rich and not Rich is going to be gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Eric's gone for a bit. Chris is
Oh,
Chris is always.
Chris should
yeah.
hopefully should be back. But
okay.
All right. Well, folks, as always, I hope you're having fun. Like I said, I'm really interested to see what you guys do in the city because there's a lot to be done, and it really opens up into an interesting role play depending upon what you guys choose to do. So we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there.
cool.
Oh, just quick question then,
Oh,
Tom. That
I have
shouldn't
something too.
occupy anybody else. Is that at breakfast? Did I see?
Okay, wait. Time out. I want to answer all of this, but I'm going to take a quick bio break and come back.
Okay.
So, because I was going to say, if we're ready to jump into something, I'm going to go do that and come back. So, give me 1 sec. I'll be right back.
Oh, what's this one? Okay. TJ.
Hmm.
Did he leave? Okay, cool.
He's sleeping.
I'm looking at this one thing that I was gonna mention to Tom when he gets back. Sentinels of the Multiverse is on sale for $2 on Steam. And then I'm looking down here and Spirit Island is 50% off for $13 on Steam.
What is Spirit Island?
Like,
That is a board
Put
game.
into what the hell's it called? Game Top Simulator.
No, just on Steam.
Oh.
And Tom, when you weren't here, I was saying, because it's the summer sale, the summer Steam sale. Sentinels of the Multiverse is on sale for $2.
Ooh. Like,
Yes.
wait, like the actual card game or like the actual, like, video game that they made?
It's Sentinels of the Multiverse, the video game, but it's like the card game.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. It's just, there were, I had seen that there was a platform that you could play Sentinels in a virtual tabletop, and then there was a Sentinels that they made that was like a video game based around the characters from the. That's that.
Yeah, no, I went and I watched the thing, and it's the like comic book thing, like the board game we play.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. And then I was saying, well, then it was Spirit Island, which is 50% off, which is a game that TJ said was good and that he wanted to try with us.
What is Spirit Island?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Good response.
I
don't know,
did
it,
indeed say that.
It's as far as I know, because I never played it, like people are coming and like colonizing the island, and you're like a god and you're trying to get them out. So in concept, it's reverse
cool.
Catan.
That's kind of cool. I like that, as opposed to like there was like a Super Nintendo game that was you played gods trying to get people to like build up your worship to get better. I forget what it was called, but it just sounds fun. Like this is the opposite. Also, maybe I'll bring this. Oh, that's fun. Maybe I'll bring this to the cookout. I haven't decided yet, but I just got delivered the newest expansion to that game, Drinking Quest. So I have yet more adventures to be played with that. So I'm kind of excited to see that.
Nice.
All right, Dolan, when I jumped off, you had questions. What's going on?
Did I notice any refugee orphans at the breakfast? Any kids without adult supervision?
If that is what you're looking, I will tell you that yes, you did.
Okay.
Is this where obscurity becomes evil?
That's my main concern right now.
Obviously. Obviously going to turn these orphans into mules with transmutation.
Right.
And sell them at
I was projecting so hard, guys. Come on.
There should be no question.
That's what he literally just asked.
Obscurity, you also, as you notice, like, families that have multiple children, that, like, you know, the parent, like I'm not trying to create a sob scene here, but like the parents are giving the extra food to the kids. You see children that are, like, the community is trying to look after, but they are there by themselves. They look like drawn and haggard. And as all of this is going on, give me a perception check. Now, this is historical in nature, so you probably haven't had a chance to tell people, but in case you do it, what did you get?
$15.
15. You notice that, like, on the top of one of the tents, as you're kind of walking around, you know, observing people, you see a crow. Like not a crow with, like, red eyes or 3 eyes from Game of Thrones or anything like that. You just see a crow. But what's interesting is, as you turn and you walk a different way, you notice a crow. And then as you turn and look a different way and you see another child that maybe is, I don't want to say of interest, because this really does sound creepy at this point, but, like, for what you're looking for to try to, like, provide community support, more you look, more you notice there's always a crow that's watching you. And if you turn around to look back, where there were previously crows, there are not, but there's always crow that seems to be looking at you. You know, like, if you've ever been, like, on a long highway drive, every time you drive by, like, a plains area where there's flat grass between it, there's, like, that one black crow that's looking at your car, and then you get the next section. There's another crow. It just seems like it's looking at your car as you go by. You know, like, is that the same crow? I can't tell, but there's just always a crow. And then when it finally gets to the point, like, as you're kind of doing your own, I don't want to say interrogation, sort of infiltration into this area to see things, you notice that there's a crow. And maybe the crow's not looking at you, but there is always a crow, and you finally are like, what the fuck is up with this? It's not there anymore. But that's what you see.
Yeah, she immediately wouldn't have trusted these crows. So
Itachi.
Well, I mean, they're not, like, flipping you over.
Yeah.
They're just, you just
she
see a
doesn't
crow.
trust
That's
crows
all.
normally.
First of all, how dare you? Crows are the best. Corvids are the best.
Dolan loves crows. I'm just saying.
But Obscurity hates them.
But Obscurity
How
doesn't
dare you
trust
take
those
my shadow
motherfuckers.
powers from me, crow?
Oh. Yeah, if I'm on my own, I definitely take note of that. If
I'm assuming this would be you, like, on your own after.
Yeah, just on my own. Okay.
On the ground.
Then I'll just hold on to
Here's
that
a pound of
information.
salt, walked away. Yeah.
I don't trust those motherfuckers. I think that those are the Inquisitors watching us. So cool. I'm just gonna assume I'm being watched, and so anything I do, I'ma do.
I have a question.
The way I do.
Has Nim revealed to Obscurity what her former profession was, or is that a mystery that has yet to be unlocked?
No. I wouldn't be hiding that from those that we're traveling with. I feel like we've been around each other enough and been through some stuff, so that it's like, yeah, that would have been revealed.
Okay.
Now,
And so
if
last-
that's something that she would have had a problem with, and we want to try and deal with and figure stuff out, we can do that. Because that's a good point.
I leave it up to you guys. I mean, if you are this concerned about Regessian Inquisitor influences, you are traveling with a former Regessian Inquisitor. Just saying.
Which means their head is right. They're a former
Okay. All right.
Inquisitor. Everybody can make a mistake.
Everyone can make 13 mistakes. So just don't just not genocide, larceny, genocide, larceny. I'm good now. I'm in my 13. I'm good. So, but yeah. So
What is
okay.
arsony?
What is
It's when you
this?
do both.
See? Is that somebody's name? Like, what's happening? Larceny Jones. You know what? That's my next character. If I die in TJ's game, I'm coming back as Larceny Jones. My whole thing is stealing stuff. So there it is. But yeah, so this, you guys have come to this place. It was a trial. There were tribulations to get here, and now you are in a city that is embroiled in multiple levels of intrigue, and who can be trusted, who can't, how can you help, how can't you, and what will you do as heroes? And also, what new things will Figovich tell you about next week when you come back? And he's like, well, I've been waiting out here with several things to tell you about, so...
I imagine next week he's going to sound like Chef from the Muppets.
It's potential. Also, as a recommendation, if anybody is... so there was a Muppet movie that was made, I think it was like mid-2000s, and it introduced a new Muppet that was like whistling, and they were trying to save Muppet Theater. And so I remember this because the guy from How I Met Your Mother was on it. I think Amy Adams was like his girlfriend on it. Like, I remember this movie, and apparently several, like 3 or 4 years later, they made another new Muppets movie, and my daughter was like, I want to watch that Muppets movie. My wife and I were like, I don't know this Muppet movie. Okay, let's watch it. And my daughter's fallen in love with it. It's not bad. Like, it's not, as far as a Muppet movie goes, it's not bad. But there is a scene in the movie where a fake Kermit is trying to convince Miss Piggy that everything is good. I'm not giving away anything by saying this. That's all I'm going to say.
Unbelievable song.
But she's like, but basically he starts to sing a song, and he's got like the Fabio like white shirt opened, and the wind's blowing, but he's got no hair, so it's blowing everything else besides the frog. and he's like, you want an ice cream cone? I'll give it to you. You want a mortgage loan? I'll give it to you. You want a diamond ring? I'll give it to you. And he goes, you want a thingy thing? And this fucking weird Muppet goes, Mwah! On the side of the thing. He goes, I'll give it to you. And you never see that Muppet again for the entire movie. And it is the best, because it's just like, what the fuck was that thing? This is so good. So,
Muppets, it always a hit.
So Tarn has watched this movie now like 9 times in a row, and sings all the songs. One of them being, I'm number 1, number 2, and she runs around the house saying, I'm number 1, you're number 2, to Sarah and I, and I'm like, that's not how this works, but okay. But yeah, the whole like, I'll give it to you song, if you just look up the meme for I'll give it to you thingy thing, you'll see this fucking Muppet that like appears to just go like wah, and it's the only time you ever see this Muppet. And I just imagine that like Henson Studios were like, hey Jimmy, what do you got for us? Well, I've got this thing that like emerges from itself and goes wah, and they're like, you get 3 seconds in this video and you'll never show up again. And he's like, did it, awesome. It's the best. It just is the best. But anyways, all right. So
was the game you were talking about Populous?
I think that was the name of it, where you could choose what god you wanted to be.
I don't know.
So I remember Populous, but there was a specific game where you chose what deity you wanted to be, and the idea was that like as you gain more followers, you had to challenge other deities, and if you defeated them, you gained their followers, and it grew from there. I don't know if Populous was that game. I don't know if it was. But it was super fun. I mean, it was a pain in the ass, but it was super fun. But all right. That said, I am going to sign off and say thank you, everybody. I hope you're having fun, and we'll talk again soon. All right?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you and good night.
Later.
Later on.
Later. I grabbed those things, Captain.
What?
Those Steam ones. Those Steam
Yeah. Nice. All right.
I see my friend Eddie, he introduced me to the game. He has it as well, so I wonder if he would join. It says online multiplayer, so...
You know, I didn't even think about that part, and it's just like, I just assumed that it would be, because how the hell, why would I play this if not with other people?
There is like a one-player version of it.
Right.
But yeah, you'd play with other people, of course.
Right. All right, so that one and Sentinels, $2. That one's easy. Maybe the bundle. Maybe get all the stuff. $7. Then Civilization's $3. Civilization 6. Interesting. Damn it. I wasn't looking to spend a bunch of money. Fortunately, it's not much, but still, it's some. Anyway. Yeah, so we'll definitely have to play that stuff.
Sounds good, man. Alright, later,
All right.
guys.
Later,
Good
guys.
night.